My first overall pick is going to be Drake London under 4.5 receptions. You're going to find out why in this video. What's going on, guys? If you guys are brand new to this channel, sit back and watch me teach you how to plus EV bet. If you guys are brand new to plus EV betting, it is simply betting utilizing market knowledge, utilizing all the projections across every single sportsbook and DFS app, and then finding those soft projections and then hitting the over or under where those market discrepancies lie. So let's go ahead and dive into exactly what I'm talking about here with Drake London. Drake London was found utilizing the DGFantasy optimizer. As you guys can see here, I switched over to the DGFantasy optimizer. And again, for anybody who's brand new to this channel, this looks completely new to you. What we have here is called the DFS optimizer. Along the top, you have all the sports books showing their juice and their projections for hitting the over or under of a certain player prop. Now, another thing to keep in consideration is on PrizePicks, when you pair any five players, any 2 players, 3, 4, whatever, 6 picks, none of the payouts change, right? But on sportsbooks, the payouts change. This is called a fantasy app where fixed payouts, again, never change. Right now in the fantasy market, there are a ton of platforms with fixed payouts. Other platforms like Underdog Fantasy, like Parlay Play, like Jock Market. And right here, we're focusing on PrizePicks. And there's a huge edge because on sportsbooks, like I said, the payouts are dynamic. They're always changing the juice. They're always changing the payouts based on where the money's flowing in, based on sharp models, projections, all that good stuff, right? But on PrizePicks, it takes them a little bit to adjust to the market. It takes them a little bit to adjust their projections. So as you can see here, by looking at the very first projection, Drake London is set to 4.5 on every single other sportsbook. Well, so is PrizePicks. But here's the edge. Right now, if you were to take this exact prop on, say, let's say FanDuel here at minus 136, that is really, really punishing for a normal sports bettor to go ahead and hit the under because you're only really getting this at minus 136 odds, right? So if I switch over to a calculator here, if I put in $100, I'm really only getting $73.53 in addition to my $100 buy-in if I were to bet this on a sportsbook like FanDuel. However, the hidden math behind PrizePicks suggests that each individual leg here is treated as minus 119 implied odds. Okay, so again, I'm not going to go too far into the math breakdown, but right now the best bang for your buck slip on PrizePicks is a 5 flex or 6 flex slip because they both have implied juice of minus 119 implied odds here across each one of their legs. And the 2-man power minus 136. So again, very, very closely related to that FanDuel bet that we were talking about specifically for Drake London. So this wouldn't present an edge if you were to put this in a 2-man power. But if you were to put this in a 5 flex or a 6-man flex, if I had a filter here, this shows as a great plus EV bet by hitting the under here. Because again, all we're doing is comparing projections across all sports books. The sports books have so much more knowledge. They have millions and millions of dollars poured into their projections. They're always updating their models. They get, entry news before anybody else. Not only that, the sharps are always hammering in one direction or the other. So when 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, over 9 different sports books here agree with the same exact projection and also heavily juicing on the under, we can go ahead and lock in the value here on Drake London 4.5 receptions. So that's my favorite overall pick here for NFL. If we scroll down here, we also have Sam Howell over fantasy score. As we know, there's no fantasy score market here on the sports books because this is only a thing for fantasy sports books, right? So for Underdog, for PrizePicks, for Parlay Play, they all have their individual fantasy markets, right? And they all have their individual multipliers. What we did at DGFantasy is we found the fantasy market or what they would be on each sports book by taking all the even lines of the player props included in those multipliers for fantasy scores, right? So if we were to take a look here at PrizePicks and take a look at fantasy scores, I'm going to go ahead and put in Sam Howell since we're going to go ahead and take his over anyway. Take his over fantasy score. And if we went here into the scoring chart for fantasy score, each one of these markets here exist on the sports books, right? We have odds for passing touchdowns, for interceptions, for rushing yards, for rushing touchdowns. So what we did is we converted that into a percent odds to hit based on the sports books, based on those fair odds percentage, on those implied odds, right? And then we translated that into a raw fantasy score. So if we switch over here, if the fantasy score market did exist by automatically populating all these fantasy scores into the market, we would have Pinnacle setting their fantasy score to 17.2, BetMGM to 16.7, Caesars 17.5, very aggressive, and Bovada 17.1. So we have 4 sports books here with individual player props that equate to a fantasy score that is higher than PrizePicks here, a 1.6 point difference. So right now, we're going to go ahead and take the over of the fantasy score in PrizePicks because it's a little bit softer than what the sportsbooks say the fantasy score should be. Hopefully that makes sense. So we're going to go ahead and put that in as our second overall NFL prop. Now, if we switch back here to the PrizePicks optimizer by sorting by a 5-flex slip, right now we don't have any other profitable plays because anything over 54.24% is a profitable long-term bet for 5-flex slips, and that's the fair odds percent. That's the true odds percent odds to hit given the sportsbook values. If that outweighs the implied odds of minus 119 implied odds, then that is a long-term profitable bet here on PrizePicks. Right now, these are really the only two NFL props with a slight edge if we were to place them on PrizePicks. So now let's go ahead and take us a step further and now sort by all sports, because right now we don't care about what sport we're betting on. We just care that we are making money. And the best way to do this is by observing the market in other sports. So Logan Webb, for the exact reasons that we already talked about. Fantasy score on the under. We have DraftKings. If they did have a fantasy score market here, set to minus 126 fair odds. Same thing with Caesars at minus 128 fair odds. And this equates to a minus 127, the average. That's what the DGF line is. Average line of minus 127. That outweighs the implied odds of minus 119 implied odds here per leg for a PrizePicks 5-flex slip. So we're giving this almost a 56% chance to hit the under. So we're going to go ahead and throw that into our PrizePicks slip here. Again, if you guys only want NFL content, that's fine. I don't care. I only care about making money. And if there's props in the market here that are giving me a slight edge, I'm going to take them. So 32.5 here, hitting the under of Logan Webb. He should hit the under here. At least he has a 56% chance to hit the under. We're never saying that this player is going to hit the under. We're saying that he has a better chance to hit the under. A good chance to keep you profitable in the long run. 56% chance. You need to win each individual leg over 54.2% of the time to remain profitable in the long run for a 5-man flex. And given the market knowledge, we're saying, hey, this has a 56% chance to hit the under. 56% is greater than 54.24%. Therefore, this is a profitable bet. Again, we're not saying it's going to hit the under today. We're saying that, hey, this is going to hit the under 56 times out of 100 in the long run. So guess what? There's a slight profit margin with this exact bet. Also, if we head over here to pitching combo strikeouts, Johan and Dylan Lee over pitching combo strikeouts. We're going to hit the over here. Again, taking individual player props here, combining them into a combo prop. We're saying if there was a combo prop market on BetOnline and Bet365, then it would be juiced on the over here at 7. So we're going to go ahead and throw this in. Looks like to be an MLB slip and an NFL slip. Dylan Dodd and Johan hitting the over of strikeouts. And if we switch back here, last but not least, we have Bobby Witt over 7 fantasy score here. And again, we're using the player prop market to compare directly to the fantasy score of PrizePicks given the DraftKings player prop market. So we're going to go ahead and throw in Bobby Witt over 7 fantasy score. And there is my profitable long-term slip. Again, we are not saying that this is going to go 5 of 5. We're saying that, hey, this is going to go 5 of 5 more times than not to keep you profitable in the long run by just simply observing the market. This is the best way to remain a profitable long-term sports bettor. Before moving on to some more bonus picks, I want to talk about DGFantasy's 7-day free trial. If you guys sign up for any one of our tools, the fantasy bundle includes the fantasy score screen, which we talked about in this video, the DFS optimizer, and the middling tool, which we'll also talk about with our bonus picks for 7 days, completely free, no strings attached. You guys can sign up again in the description below. The second half of this video is going to be geared towards a new fantasy app called Parlay Play. If you guys have not signed up for Parlay Play, I highly encourage you to do so, especially if you're a sports bettor taking this seriously. If you are comparing line across all major sportsbooks, across all major fantasy apps, Parlay Play offers elite payouts. Their 6-man insured slip is treated at minus 113 implied odds. To compare that over the PrizePicks, their 5-flex, 6-man flex, comparing that, again, their legs are treated individually as minus 119 implied odds. You're getting better bang for your buck just because of the payouts here on Parlay Play. On Parlay Play, if you just put in random, 6 players here, I'm just going to go ahead and throw them in. To compare this to a 6-man flex, their payouts are just slightly better. And again, every little implied odds matter. So 6 out of 6, you get 25x. For 5 out of 6, you get 2.5x. And to compare that over the PrizePicks, you only get 2x. And then for 4 out of 6, you get 0.5, so half your money back here. And then for PrizePicks, you get 0.4x. So again, payouts are completely elite. And what this allows you to do is scope out value, give you better risk, you can go down to 53% fair odds here. So let's take a look here at the optimizer. There's always plays to take advantage of, and luckily we have a ton of NFL plays. So by taking a look here at the very first play, Amari Cooper, we're going to be taking the under of his receptions. And I'm going to go ahead and break down why here. Again, the entire market is heavily juiced on the under of this guy's receptions. And it's a 1-to-1 comparison. You're getting this at minus 113 implied odds here in a 6-man insured slip. But right now, this is being treated as minus 143 average odds across the entire industry. Makes zero sense why you would take it anywhere else but on parlay play. To compare, again, down here, Russell Wilson over 15.5 rushing yards. The entire market, their near even line is set to 18.5. So we're getting that 3-yard discrepancy here on Russell Wilson. We'll go ahead and throw him in as our second leg. Pat Freiermuth over receptions, 3.5 here, set to the entire industry with heavy juice on the over. We're getting this at minus 113 implied odds here on parlay play. Hitting the over of receptions. Kenneth Walker, a 5-yard discrepancy here. The entire market near even line, slight juice on the under. Doesn't really matter. That 5-yard discrepancy we're getting on parlay play. Kenneth Walker hitting the over of 62 yards as our fourth leg. Matt Gay over 5.5 here, kicking points, minus 134 implied odds across the entire market. You're getting this at minus 113. Again, a no-brainer. And then last but not least here, Treylon Burks under 3.5 receptions. A lot of receptions props here are completely off on parlay play. And the whole reason that we're taking these is because there's better bang for your buck. This will keep you profitable in the long term. Again, if you guys have not signed up for parlay play, be sure to use code DGF for 100% match up to $100. And guys, if you did enjoy this content, please do hit that subscribe button, notification bell, and of course, smash that like button for more NFL content. We'll be here all season long. With all that being said, have a great rest of your day, and let's cash.